Hi, welcome to the system. I normally use XFCE, but I was working on something on OpenBox, so let's leave it on OpenBox. It doesn't really matter. ArcoLinux has three operating systems: XFCE, OpenBox, and i3, so you can get to grips with three of them and then decide for yourself what to do, whether to go to a tiling window manager entirely, etc. 15 desktops. Now the video or the timing is a bit sooner than expected, so it's today the 27th and the release is now the 1st of November. This is due to the fact that we have a new calamaris that we've implemented on all ISOs, and that's why it's a little bit earlier, so you can see if that installer is going to help you with installing ArcoLinux in general, ArcoLinux D, ArcoLinux B. On every release and every cycle we have a video how to stay rolling, that's one thing, and a video to say what's new. This is the video how to stay rolling. So we have already set everything up. We have here a template. Let's make a clone version from it, and this is the 19.10.1, I believe it is. Clone. So this version is the one we're going to install, and maybe if this is a new thing, ArcoLinux or Linux in general, then you try it out in VirtualBox on Windows or on Mac or on Linux, and then you have to set all things right. So I have this template, so I just clone it, but what are my settings? So just click them open and you take a look at it. It always changes how much memory you want to give to it. It used to have 50-50. I enabled this one so that INXI knows what's beneath the virtual machine, so the hardware, the motherboard and all that. Processor 50-50 here. Oh, this was the motherboard thingy. That's something else. Okay, that's generally on by default. It's this one I meant. This provides INXI with information, the physical address extension. Acceleration, I've seen a discussion with people changing this thing here to KVM, but I leave it to default. It just works like that. Probably works like with KVM as well. We used to have 50-50 here. I'm giving it all now these days. It used to be VBox SVGA, sorry, VBox VGA. We've changed it now to VBox SVGA, works as well. So it's really figuring out how things work on your system, but that's of course entirely up to you and to test it out. So all the rest is pretty much well, the way I never touched it, the way it is by default. Okay, so those are my settings. Double clicking, installing couldn't be easier. Let's see if a Control F full screen is going to work. That's great, and let's go ahead. So oh yeah, there were some lines up there. So if the first line works on all my machines, and that's 13 computers, it works everywhere. But if it's not, try to choose another line. I mean, there's a lot of code behind there. You can edit the code as well to make it change to your liking, what you need on your machine. But this is the reason we have an early, well, 2 weeks earlier release, that we jump from 3.2.10 to 3.2.15. So a big jump thanks to the assistance of Adriaan de Groot. All right, so normally you just go ahead and choose your language you have. This is nothing to be worried about. It's the difference between one version and the other. And we go for next. I can click it away. This either works or it doesn't. It means it's pointing to a server, and if the server responds, you know where you live. And otherwise, if it's not working, just pinpoint it exactly, or just use the drop downs. You can change the system language here as well. Mine is set to go, and here as well, the numbers and the locales, the dates. This is pretty important for me. I need to go to my Azerty look. Otherwise I'll have trouble typing, so that's the only thing that I really need. And then we're going to erase everything. I'm the kind of guy who does not use Hibernate. With Hibernate, no Hibernate, and no swap. So I have 16 gigabyte of memory, so I don't really care about swap at all. And then we go and type everything in. Log in automatically if you want to. Use the same password if you want to. And then we go for next and for install. Now, while this is doing its job, this is the most critical thing. If it says filling up file system, then you know you've passed the hurdle. And what if you have not passed the hurdle? You go to ArcoLinux hello. That's one thing I have to show you anyway. So if you're totally new, and we get more and more people in, and we know that because of the questions we get, of course, about updating and stuff like that. So the general first time frequent asked questions is more and more these days. So go and have a look at this. Questions about 64 bits, that seems to be vanished. It's clear we don't support 32 bits. And go and have a look what it all means working with ArcoLinux. This is one page you should read. And then, of course, we invite you to join us on Discord. So that's our way to communicate. We could have done hex chatter and stuff like that in the past. We've done that. Well, not for ArcoLinux, I mean, but Discord is pretty nice. It's a beautiful design, and we communicate with that. So it's like this, more or less. Here we are with all the users. Here are the channels, and you post your stuff on here. We talk to each other straight away. And all the rest, please take a look. I see I need to, but I do hope they still host the forum. I'm afraid they don't, so I need to delete this link here. So ArcoLinux is Arch Linux, and that's why I always say think out of the box. I mean, even think about the really Arch box. I've solved so many things reading Ubuntu forums, and I found solutions there that fixed my Arch Linux installation. So you have to just think further than just Arch-based thing. It's just not our forum. There are other forums you can have a look at, and that will solve your things. This is our own forum, ArcoLinuxforum.com. So if we get technical on YouTube, on Twitter and so on, it's not a good idea to put it on social media. All the technical stuff should go on ArcoLinuxforum.com. There we can have a longer discussion about issues. And the advantage is, if there isn't a solution found, well, the next guy will find the solution as well, and we don't need to work for it. We don't need to put time into it. He'll just see, I should do this and this and that, and then it's solved. So that's great. I was going to show you something else as well, where we're talking about, the Calamares. Do have a look at arcolinux.com. Go to applications. There's a total big category about Calamares. So Calamares is a name you should remember. That's the thing running here. That's our installer. Well, it's not our installer. We support it 100%, and they support us 100%, and that's of course super. So it's the way to graphically install Arch Linux. We have other ways on the websites to do it the Arch way, so Arch Linux installation. But this is the graphical way to install any Arch Linux out there, and even not just Arch Linux, it's broader than that. Calamares installer is just for Linux. How to get Linux on your system with a graphical installer. That's Calamares. In the meantime, look at the slider. It's a very small slider. In the meantime, I think we have 34 videos all about knowledge, how to share knowledge here with issues on Calamares, encryption things I see here pass by. There's also things how to have 4 operating systems on one system. I have here a laptop behind me which has 4 partitions, 4 elements. You can have an ArcoLinux, an ArcoLinux D, then an ArcoLinux B, Plasma for instance, an ArcoLinux B, BSPWM. Well, we have 4 partitions, 4 operating systems on one system. Learn, play with it, and decide in the end, okay, I want to go for that desktop. So a lot of information is here. Also, when you run into issues, we did not run into an issue now. Calamares is getting better, simple as that. Over time, you'll see this is an interesting thing. So solutions are at the top, I believe. Fixing issues. Use gparted to overcoming installation issues, and the wipe fs, and I believe there's still another one, the sgdisk, to erase everything. So we give you lots of info about Calamares, a lot of knowledge that's typical of ArcoLinux. But now finally we can go reboot, because I have to keep talking. But I think it's interesting to get an overview of an operating system that you never even tried before, or thought, or just found, you know. So we get some already the idea that there are lots of forums and lots of websites to have a look at. I'm pressing Alt-N, otherwise it will be again the same wallpaper that greets us over and over again. So Alt-N is variety. One of the other things I should mention. Variety is great, but people are just amazed. Why is my wallpaper changing? Start variety when the computer starts. If you don't want that, don't do it. Change the wallpaper every 30 minutes. Why not every 3,000 minutes? Or just don't change it, right? So set it the way you like it if you don't want variety to be there next time you boot up. This is it. It won't be there. So the video is all about updating, and this red thing is what's going to make sure, well, it's going to at least visually tell us, hey, there are updates, right? What I tend to do is not to use PAMAC AWAR, which is the application. You should know that by name. So it gives us, of course, after a month of no updates, it gives us lots of stuff to upgrade or update. You see here the total download size. Now, I use PAMAC AWAR all the time, but to explain you stuff, to find out repositories, what's in the ArcoLinux repo, what's in the third-party repo, what's in the multilib, etc. Right? I use it to analyze things. Updating, I rather do in the terminal. Ctrl-Alt-T. We still have version 19.10.1, and then we update our system. I just made a text on the forum. How do you update a system, right? In our case, it's called an alias. It's called update. If you're on ArcoLinux, then it's going to be sudo pacman -s. Let's just type it. So sudo pacman -s if you are on ArcoLinux. Phase 5 on arcolinuxd.com. Okay, is that? Yeah, that's the right one. We've just renamed the package. ArcoLinux OpenBox configs has been renamed to ArcoLinux OpenBox, sorry. So just say yes, right? And this is some from ArcoLinux, something that they say. If you get questions like that, the easiest way and the best way, if you don't know, just say yes. It's always correct. You don't have to type it. You can say enter as well. And then yes again, and off you go. Then it all depends on the download speed you have, if you still have some bandwidth, if everything is consumed after the end of the month or something like that. But mainly we have to wait for it. Now, if things go slow, then it's because of the ArcoLinux servers that are at that point in time not well, we have to solve an issue. So that's great. That's the video. That's why the video is here to help you. Just saying that Ctrl-Alt-T, there is an alias. You should check it. If this is the first time you ever laid eyes on it, then you should check it. It's filled with aliases, and mirror is the one you like. Mirror and mirror A, mirror D. One of them will work, and it's going to make sure you get the fastest ArcoLinux servers around. So these download speeds depend on a server that's responding fast or slow. So if the mirror is not okay, then you get issues. Now, if you see here checking keys in Keyring, and if it says what's this key, could not be looked up remotely, etc. Required key missing from Keyring. Okay, if you see that, the Keyring, the word Keyring, you should remember that if you're on ArcoLinux/ArcoLinux. you do sudo pacman -s arch something. Now let's take arch. That's a little bit less. 120 is still a lot. Like this. These are all the arch stuff. And you see indeed ArcoLinux keyring in the middle, right? Let's point it in here. This guy. That's the one that's going to make sure that you're safe. Simply put, it's going to get all the key rings, and you see there's a change. We move from August to December, from October. So the packages are signed with a key, and now some of them are disabled, some have been added, and now we can check it again. Now we can do our update, and the key ring, yes, enter, enter, enter. Don't need to type yes, just enter, enter. With the keys in place, is already done checking the keys in Keyring, going to package integrity, and then finally we're up and running. So remember the word ArcoLinux keyrings. Well, we do have time. Wiki ArcoLinux keyring. Let's see what we get. Bing is not what I wanted, but anyway. So that's a GNOME keyring. ArcoLinux keys, maybe this one. SSH key. Pacman. Probably the wrong keywords to find it. Continue, continue. Here's the ArcoLinux keyring. No issues. Well, I must say, don't find it straight away. So let's keep on our update here. So that's one thing. We're almost done. 217. Package signing, maybe. I'm thinking, how should we easily find it? Anyway, we have certain icons, git, and SADI icons git. These are the SADI icons. And these icons always receive at least a monthly update. So I keep adding work to the list, and once a month I say, okay, let's make the icons. Unless it's somewhere in here, so we actually see, well, a strange thing. I'll probably have to reboot. So the icons are always up to date, so that's great. Right, that's one thing. We've updated our system. Probably going to be a kernel in there somewhere, Linux kernel. So rebooting is always the point. Here's Linux, that's the kernel. And the firmware is also new. So updating is required, but why not do first an up all and see what we get there. Because there were some issues these days with PAMAC AWAR. So this one is maintained by me, so it's out of date, just tell me. And then we have OE generator, PAMAC AWAR. We jumped now to this version, timeshift Vivaldi, and so on. So this is not ArcoLinux. Anything that has the name AWAR in front of it is Arch User Repository. It means people maintain it. It's not even an application. It's actually a package build, a recipe how to build a package. So that's the only thing we do is maintain a kind of list how to create an application on ArcoLinux. That's it. Now sometimes things get updated, dependencies change, etc. So we need to update the package build, and that takes a day, 2 days, 3 days. The only thing you can do as a user is make an account on the AWAR website and tell us, maintainers, hey, there is a problem with this package, okay? And then we get a mail, and then we say, if I have the time, right, then I'll dug into it and I'll make the new mix icon themes. I'll make an update. All right, so this is my name here, and there's a Git version theme pack. That's a pack. Probably gonna include something more. Never seen this before, so it's gonna include all at once, one thing, everything that's available at once. So there you go. Make an account there and say, then flag it out of date, I think it's called, and then we get a mail. So we get here a long list of billings. This is normal, your machine is not broken and we're not hacking, it's just building a package. 904 to 902, it's PAMAC, and PAMAC is the one that's in here. That's the one we use to, for instance, go and have a discussion about, let's see if we can do something here. Installed, explicit installed, for instance. Why am I looking at this? I know, let's just check one of them. So you can see what a package brings to your system. It has a user bin, which means an application, an executable, let's call it like that. It's an executable, the binary, and we have the libraries where everything is put, and some icons in the user share icon. So you can analyze it all time. If you install something, where is it going to be put? That's something different than in other operating systems, right? You see immediately what's happening. This thing can be fixed, and that's new since the new package, make package application there is wants you to fill it in. It says something, I don't know, John Doe or something it is. And now you should actually, if you want to get rid of it, the warning, then you should just fill it out. And we've done that in the Nemesis script. So everything is up to date. Let's have a check by rebooting. Restart. This is how you update from version of October to version of November. So the main thing was the ArcoLinux keyring in my eyes. The rest is just updating, right? And you see the auto login is functioning on XFCE, not at all cases, not all desktops. We're working on that together with Calamares guys. So this is looking good again, and everything is working the way it should work. Just checking. F12 is not working. F12 is not present. We've not updated, well, everything. So there's update and update up all. That's great. Missing AWAR packages, fine, and flagged out of date, all taken care of if you do the following. So after just an update and an up all, which is okay, you should do a little bit more if you want to. It's just a choice. Temps is no longer. I've told the guys at the AWAR just get rid of it because it was not maintained for 3 years and it was not working anymore. So I could do this manually, of course, but we have scripts for that to make it easier for yourself. So first of all, you may have noticed or may not have noticed that our things from ArcoLinux are going to be put into EDC Scale. It's an important folder. It really is. So what you do, you take this EDC Scale and you take it somewhere there. And you say, Eric, it's not an important folder. There's nothing in there. Control H. Show the hidden folders. View, show hidden files. There is a lot in there. A lot of settings are in here. A lot of configuration is in here. It's super packed, really. Now, what you need to do is, if you want to keep rolling, so no clean install with version 19.11, but keep rolling, you need to get the new data in. So with a Control C, you normally would do this a Control V, and everything is going to be copy pasted over. So replace all. After doing that month and a month and a month and a month, we say, isn't there an alias for that? Could we make an alias for that? This is normal. He doesn't like that we copy paste over his files. So yes, there is a command scale who is going to copy paste everything from the EDC Scale on your home directory. So that's easier. That's why aliases are there, to make it easy. Now remember, when you copy paste everything over, your own documents are gone. So if you have documents that you say, I want to keep this one, all you need to do is Control C and Control V before the Scale, of course. all right? So you can do a compare later on and you say what changed, compare, and you can get these things back with a compare. Now, another thing that's important when talking about Scale, that's the backup Scale. That's also quite interesting thing, and lots of tutorials on there. And you can do a backup Scale prior to the installation, prior to the update. And after the update, do it again. So if you do after the update a backup Scale again, you actually learn what changed on my system. This changed on your system. Compare between A and B, and you know this is what changed. The differences are there, are shown, right? So that's another interesting alias you can have a look at. But there's one more that we have not done yet. Well, two, and then the video ends. Well, there is open terminal here. There's one alias that's interesting. If something changes, if something changes on the bash RC, we have copy the bash, CB, copy the bash. Okay, copy the bash doing all this copying. Basically, what's new in the bash RC latest, we compare it. Is there something new? Yes, there's something new. We've changed the update. The FC was, it seems, an application. So in the meantime, FC is there. So we've changed our alias to update FC. That's one thing. We've done indeed something new. I was installing git fiend, I think, and it was in a Debian package and I couldn't unpack it. So I made some Debian stuff here and tar exec stuff. And I just can say today X, and so extract me a package that I have done, and it's going to be extracted. So that's a neat trick. Now you can either put this from here to here, etc. But if you do a Scale, it's going to be overwritten again. So that's not a good idea to do it. Then you say, how is this happening, right? No, what you should do is do this CB. It's here open, CB, and that's it. And you say, I'll have a look again. Something changed with my CB, changes here, reload. It says files are identical. So now everything is copy pasted over. My bash RC is working, and we can have this extract thing. So when I do X nothing, cannot be extracted via X. So it's working, it's in there. Okay. Another update FC, that's also a new one. Update FC, and you're going to update your fonts, your cache of your fonts. FC font cache. All right, last thing, what we've done with our Scale. Well, yeah, not the very last thing. Just want to type in mouse face, just quickly, done. And then I'm gonna say Ctrl-Alt-T. This is still version 19.10.1. Stay rolling is in here, 1910, 1911. And remember, when we did Ctrl-Alt-T of all, we get a list of strange things here, temps and font manager, right? Now we're gonna run this one, stay rolling. Actually, I never do this. I mean, never go inside folders. Maybe I can show you that as well. So this is gonna work, right? But what I do is just a Ctrl-Alt-T. So I am in my home directory. You see this by this sign. What I do is just bin / stay rolling, and then 910. This is what I type. Right, I'm going straight to the place where the file is, which is exactly the same thing as up here, really, but I never do it like this. And what it says here, we have removed these packages from the ISO, the font manager, current out of date issue, right? Flagged out of date AWAR. We're gonna remove it, it says. We install the Git version later, fine. We say remove font manager, yes, that's gone. Xterm is out because of the fact of the meta package there. What's it called again? Base. So we decided We have enough terminals. We have Termite, URXVT, XFCE. So Xterm, we can lose it. Okay. Terminus font, that's out. Fine. No terminus font anymore. New font in, TTF hack. Really nice to have it in Termite, for instance. Okay, that's in. And then we get a question here. You want to install this thing, and this thing is the Git version of Font Manager. Okay, you say enter, 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 and it's going to be built. I was thinking maybe I should get rid of the error message, make it in the video as well. So this thing, where is it? This thing, warning. We have to wait anyway, right? So how to get rid of that? EDC make package.conf. So there's a new version, old one, new one. You can always do a compare. What's different between these two guys, but it's not important enough to make a video about it. Compare. So these are things that's okay. This is not so important. Well, it's okay. I've changed it, but there's no problem. So no need to make a change. But what we need to change here is this guy's name, John Doe or something. He doesn't like it to be like this. That's all. So John Doe, put in your own name. Nope, that's one. No typos. Control S, save it. And now next time you won't see this message anymore. That's as easy as that. In the Nemesis scripts, I won't do it manually after every clean installation. It takes too much time, so it's in the Nemesis script somewhere to know it. I don't think it is. It is in the Arco Get Started 3. That's where it is. Arco Get Started 3. Look it up on our websites. Okay, so is this finished? Is this built? Press spacebar and then you're at the end. So Font Manager Git is there and LSB release, blah, blah, blah. Let's try again, right? So what happens if I do up all? Then we see missing AWAR packages still there. Let's see if I do everything out of the way. Control T. Why is it still there? Missing AWAR package. Let's have a look. Maybe I should make an update. I thought temps is in here. We use Atom. Atom is really nice. It gives us a nice look. Or temps is prior. That might be true. Was it here in this time already? Yeah, temps was already in the previous version. So the stay rolling 2 from 9 to 10. So the only thing we have to do is do this one, and temps is out. But I'll make a new update so that temps is really out on November. All right. If we do an up all, everything should be looking like this. This is the normal look. Everything up to date, and AWAR, nobody is telling that there is something out of date or some missing, etc. So this should be your look. And then if you look for the number, it should say 1911.3, Eric. Why is it not saying 1911.3? Good question. You see, sometimes things go wrong. I just forgot it. I remember. I just forgot it. No, I did not. 11.3. Well, that's done for some reason. No idea why I did that, but now it's okay. He did it anyway. Strange thing. Anyway, I'm gonna keep the video as is, 35 minutes of time. It's been a long video. I'm gonna keep it. So we'll see what happens. If there are issues, I'll hear it and I'll change the code. All right, cheers.